Hello, future educators. Welcome to another session of our Social Studies Majorship Review. Today, we'll be tackling an important and timely topic, which is the trends and issues in social studies. So, this session will cover current global and national concerns related to economics, politics, education, environment, globalization, and social change. So, each question will be followed by a rationalization, so make sure to listen carefully and take notes. Okay, now let's get started. Number one of the key challenges in social studies curriculum development is letter A, the lack of historical sources and materials. Letter B, the difficulty of integrating current events into lesson plans. Letter C, the lack of student engagement in project-based learning. Or letter D, the resistance to incorporating multiple perspectives in history. The best answer is letter D, the resistance to incorporating multiple perspectives in history. Teaching history from multiple perspectives can be controversial, especially when addressing sensitive issues. However, a well-rounded social studies education encourages diverse viewpoints to promote critical thinking and historical empathy. That's why letter D is the best answer, the most one of the key challenges in social studies curriculum development. Okay, for letter A, historical sources are widely available, though evaluating their credibility is a challenge. Letter B, many teachers successfully integrate current events to make social studies more relevant. And for letter C, project-based learning is known to increase engagement, though it requires proper planning and implementation. The best answer is letter D. Number two, which of the following is a common issue in social studies education today? Letter A, the overuse of primary sources in teaching. Letter B, the difficulty in incorporating digital media effectively. Letter C, the lack of available historical events to study. Or letter D, the elimination of history as a subject in many schools. The best answer is letter B, the difficulty in incorporating digital media effectively. While digital media offers vast educational potential, teachers often struggle with integrating it effectively due to lack of training, access to technology, or digital literacy among students. So that is the common issue in social studies education today. Now let's discuss the other choices. For letter A, primary sources enhance critical thinking and historical analysis, making them valuable in social studies. For letter C, there are countless historical events to study, and the challenge is selecting relevant topics. For letter D, while some schools may reduce emphasis on history, it remains a core subject in social studies curricula. So letter B is the best answer. Number three, why is media literacy becoming an essential component of social studies education? Letter A, it helps students critically analyze sources and detect misinformation. Letter B, it encourages students to rely solely on social media for information. Letter C, it replaces textbooks as the main source of historical knowledge. Or letter D, it prevents students from engaging in political discussions. Okay, of course. No other answer. Letter A. Media literacy equips students with skills to evaluate sources, recognize biases, and verify information, which is crucial in an age of digital misinformation. Okay, that's the That's why media literacy has become an essential component in social studies education. For letter B, media literacy encourages critical thinking, not blind reliance on social media. And for letter C, textbooks remain important, but students are encouraged to use multiple sources. For letter D, media literacy supports informed decisions and discussions rather than preventing engagement. So letter A is the best answer. Number 4, how does global interconnectedness impact local economies? Letter A, it eliminates the need for local businesses. Letter B, it increases economic opportunities but can also lead to job outsourcing. Letter C, it ensures all countries benefit equally from globalization. Or letter D, it discourages international trade. The best answer is letter B. Okay, let's discuss why letter B. Global interconnectedness allow businesses to expand internationally, boosting trade and employment. However, it can also result to job outsourcing, where companies move production to countries with lower labor costs. Mhm. So that's it. Letter B is the best answer. Now let's discuss the other choices. Letter A, local businesses still play a crucial role in economies. Letter C, globalization creates disparities benefiting some more than others. And for letter D, globalization encourages trade, not discourages it. So letter B is the best answer. Um, Number 5, what is one major challenge in addressing climate change? Letter A universal engagement on environmental policies. Letter B, the global success of carbon reduction initiatives. Letter C, the lack of scientific evidence supporting climate change. Or letter D, the unequal contributions and effects among different nations. Of course, the best answer is letter D. There is unequal contributions and effects among nations. Industrialized nations contribute more to carbon emissions, while developing countries often suffer the worst consequences, such as extreme weather and resource shortages. So letter D is the best answer. Um, for letter A, climate policies vary, making universal agreement difficult. For letter C, there is a strong scientific evidence supporting climate change, so that is not the answer. For letter B, while progress has been made, carbon reduction is still a major challenge. Mhm. Number 6, why is digital literacy important in today's society? Letter A, it helps individuals critically evaluate online information and detect misinformation. Letter B, it ensures that people only consume media from government approved sources. Letter C, it reduces the need for formal education. Or letter D, it encourages people to accept all online content as fact. Of course, the best answer is letter A. Digital literacy enables people to verify sources, recognize biases, and avoid misinformation in digital age, just like media literacy. Okay, no other answer. Letter A. Number 7. What is a major driver of modern migration patterns? Letter A, the elimination of national borders. Letter B, economic opportunities, conflict, and climate change. Letter C, the global trend of reducing immigration policies. Or letter D, the universal right of all people to migrate freely. Okay, the best answer is letter B. People migrate for better job prospects, to escape war, or due to climate related disasters. So that's the best answer. That's the major driver for modern migration. Now, for letter A, borders still exist and they also regulate migration. So that's not the answer. For letter C, some countries have stricter immigration laws, not reductions. For letter D, migration is regulated by national laws, not universal rights. Letter B is the best answer. Number 8. What is a key factor contributing to economic inequality? Letter A, equal access to education and job opportunities. Letter B, the concentration of wealth among a small percentage of the population. Letter C, the elimination of social classes worldwide. Or letter D, a decline in technological advancements. The best answer is letter B. A small elite controls a large portion of global wealth, leading to disparities in access to resources, education, and economic opportunities. For letter A, not everyone has equal access to opportunities. Letter C, social classes still exist. And for letter D, technology often increases inequality rather than reduces it. Letter B is the best answer. Number 9, why is recognizing indigenous rights important in modern societies? Letter A, it helps preserve cultural heritage and ensures social justice. Letter B, it prevents indigenous groups from participating in national politics. Letter C, it restricts land ownership from indigenous communities. Or letter D, it is no longer relevant due to globalization. The best answer is letter A. Indigenous rights protect cultural traditions, land ownership, and political representation, addressing historical injustices. Letter A is the best answer. Now, for letter B, indigenous groups should have political representation. And for letter C, recognizing rights includes securing land ownership, not restricting it. For letter D, indigenous rights remain relevant despite globalization. Letter A is the only answer. Number 10. How can educators address social justice issues in social studies classes? Letter A, by avoiding discussions that could be controversial. Letter B, by presenting only the dominant cultural perspective. Letter C, by promoting critical thinking and multiple perspectives on social issues. Or letter D, by discouraging students from engaging in social activism. Oh, no, no other answer. Letter C is the only answer here. Social justice education helps students analyze historical and current inequalities from different perspectives. Letter C is the best answer. Um, let's discuss the other choices. Why are they incorrect? For letter A, avoiding discussions prevents meaningful learning. Letter B, inclusive education acknowledges diverse cultures. So we should not only focus on the dominant cultural perspective. For letter D, students should be encouraged to participate in civic engagement, not to discourage them. Number 11. Maria shares an article on social media claiming that a new law has been passed, but she did not verify the source. What should she do to ensure the accuracy of the information? Letter A, delete the post and avoid reading news online. Letter B, check credible sources and fact check before sharing. Letter C, trust it since a friend shared it. Or letter D, spread the information to raise awareness. Of course, the best answer is letter B. Verifying information prevents the spread of misinformation, which is a major issue in digital age. The misinformation. So we must double check, fact check before sharing. Number 12. Two students argue about politics in class and refuse to listen to each other. As their teacher, how should you handle the situation? Letter A. Encourage respectful discussion and multiple perspectives. Letter B. Let them argue until one wins the debate. Letter C. Ban all political discussions in class. Or letter D. Support only one side to avoid confusion. The best answer is letter A. Critical thinking requires exposure to diverse viewpoints, fostering healthy debates. So you must encourage respectful discussion and multiple perspectives among students. Number 13. A country imposes high tariffs on important goods to protect local industries. What could be the long-term consequence of this policy? Letter A. Strengthened domestic economy with no negative effects. Letter B. Increased international cooperation and free trade. Letter C. Higher consumer prices and potential trade disputes. Or letter D. Total economic independence from foreign markets. The best answer is letter C. We have here high tariffs. So high tariffs often lead to increased production cost and raising prices for consumers. Additionally, other countries may retaliate with their own tariffs, leading to trade conflicts or disputes. So letter C is the best answer. Now let's discuss the other choices. For letter A, strengthen domestic economy with no negative effects. This is incorrect because while tariffs may protect local industries, they often cause inflation and harm trade relations. Letter B, high tariffs usually lead to trade restrictions, not increased cooperation. Letter D, in a globalized economy, no country is truly independent from international trade. So letter C is the best answer. Number 14. A developing country prioritizes industrial growth over environmental regulations, arguing that healthier nations should lead climate action. What is a major flaw in this argument? Letter A. Environmental degradation affects all countries regardless of economic status. Letter B. Industrial growth has no impact on climate change. Letter C. Wealthier nations are solely responsible for climate issues. Or letter D. Only international organizations can implement environmental policies. Okay, the best answer is letter A. Climate change is a global issue and every country contributes to its effects. Delaying action increases long-term economic and ecological damage. Yeah. So environmental degradation affects all countries, regardless of your economic status. So letter A is the best answer. Mhm. Number 15. A company plans to build a large-scale mining operation on land traditionally occupied by an indigenous community. What is the most ethical course of action? Letter A. Consult and obtain consent from the indigenous community before proceeding. Letter B. Proceed without consulting, since economic growth benefits the nation. Letter C. Force relocation of indigenous people to ensure business success. Or letter D. Offer financial compensation but continue operations without agreement. Of course, the best answer is letter A. Free, prior, and informed consent is a legal and ethical requirement in many international agreements to protect indigenous rights. Again, free, prior, and informed consent, we call it FPIC. This is a legal and ethical requirement to protect indigenous rights. Um, for letter B, economic benefits should not override human and cultural rights. So it's not right. The letter C, forced displacements or relocations is a violation of human rights. For letter D, compensation without consent disregards indigenous autonomy or freedom. So letter A is the best answer. Number 16. Which of the following best describes the paradox of globalization in relation to national sovereignty? Letter A, globalization strengthens national identity by promoting cultural exchange. Letter B, while globalization increases economic interdependence, it also challenges state authority over domestic policies. Letter C, sovereign states maintain complete autonomy despite global economic and political pressures. For letter D, globalization has eliminated the need for nation states in international governance. The best answer is letter B. Globalization fosters economic interdependence and international agreements that can sometimes limit a nation's ability to make independent and economic political decisions. Letter B is the best answer. Um, Okay, let's discuss the other choices. For letter A, while cultural exchange occurs, globalization can also lead to cultural homogenization or loss of indigenous traditions. For letter C, in reality, states often adjust policies due to trade agreements, international law, and global institutions. For letter D, nation states still play a crucial role, though global institutions influence decision making. Number 17. Which economic principle presents a challenge to implementing strong climate policies? Letter A, the tragedy of the commons. Letter B, comparative advantage. Letter C, Keynesian economic theory. Or letter D, supply and demand. The best answer is letter A, the tragedy of commons. This one describes how individuals or nations, acting in their own self interest, exploit shared resources like air and oceans, leading to environmental degradation. So this makes it difficult to enforce climate policies that requires collective action. Letter A is the best answer. Now let's discuss comparative advantage, Keynesian economic theory, and supply and demand. Comparative advantage, this principle explains how nations specialize in production based on efficiency, but it doesn't directly address environmental policy challenges. Keynesians uh, Keynesianism focuses on government intervention to stabilize economies, but it is not directly tied to climate policies. Supply and demand influence market behavior, but they do not specifically explain why environmental resources are overexploited without regulation. Letter A is the best answer. Number 18. Which factor has contributed the most to the rise of post-truth politics, where emotional appeals matter more than objective facts? Letter A, decline in literacy rates globally. Letter B, the spread of social media and algorithm-driven content. Letter C, increased access to traditional news resources or sources. Letter D, government regulation of media content. Okay, the best answer is letter B. Social media platforms prioritize engagement over accuracy, leading to a rapid spread of emotionally charged but misleading information. Letter B is the best answer. Um, for letter A, decline in literacy rates globally. While literacy rates influence critical thinking, misinformation spreads even in highly literate societies. For letter C, more access to news does not necessarily prevent misinformation. Biased reporting and selective consumption play a role. Letter D, regulation varies by countries, but it does not fully explain the rise of post-truth political environment. Number 19. Which of the following is the most significant structural factor contributing to persistent economic inequality in modern societies? Letter A. Differences in individual work ethic. Letter B. Disparities in access to education and capital. Letter C. The elimination of trade barriers. Or letter D. Technological advancements improving labor productivity. The best answer is letter B. Structural barriers such as unequal access to quality education, financial resources, and social mobility are key contributors to long-term economic inequalities. Letter B is the best answer. For letter A, while effort matters, systematic or systemic barriers often prevent upward mobility regardless of hard work. For letter C, free trade may benefit or harm different economic groups but is not the primary cause of inequality. Letter D, while technology affects job markets, inequality arises more from who has access to technology and high-skilled jobs. Letter D, B is the best answer. Last number 20. Which of the following represents a push factor rather than a pull factor in migration? Letter A, availability of jobs in the destination country. Letter B, favorable immigration policies in receiving nations. Letter C, high demand of skilled workers abroad. Or letter D, political instability and armed conflict. Okay, the best answer is letter D. Push factors are conditions forcing people to leave their home countries such as war, persecution, and economic hardship. So letter D is the best answer. Um, for letters A, B, and C, these are pull factors of migration. Pull factors, not push factors. And that's it for our trends and issues in social studies review. Comment your scores below and let me know which topic you'd like me to cover next. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss future review videos, especially social studies topics. This is Teacher Art reminding you studying hard because by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Okay, see you in the next session, future top notchers. Bye bye.